Hey, what's up guys? AJ for 4FP here, or Andy, and today I'm going to be showing you another Minecraft server admin tutorial. And what we're doing today is BungeeCord. Now what BungeeCord is it is a separate server on its own. It doesn't have any worlds or anything like that, but when you connect to that IP, it sends you to a bunch of different servers, such as a hub, and then say, I don't know, a faction server, and you can all get to every single one of those servers through just this one BungeeCord server. If you see servers like the Hive or Mineplex, this is how they do it. They obviously have more than one server. They have tons and tons of servers, but you can only connect through one IP, and this is how they do it. So what you're going to need to do is you're going to go to spigetmc.org. I will leave a link down below. You're going to want to go into downloads, go into this little sidebar thing, and click BungeeCord. Once you do that, you're going to be brought to this page right here, and you're going to download just this one right here. None of these down here. You're just going to download bungeecord.jar. Now once you have that, you are going to want to put it in its own separate folder inside of a separate folder called whatever you want. You're going to put it right there. I've already booted it up, and then you're going to want to have a startup script. So where you get this, it is you go to spigetmc.org/wiki/BungeeCord. I will also leave all these links down below for you. And you're going to want to go to installation, and you're going to want to scroll down, and the script is just right here. That's super easy to find. This is on Windows. Obviously Linux and Mac are all right down there as well. Okay. And I will also leave a link down below for BungeeCord commands and permissions. This is important when it gets to the config, where like what commands you want your players to do network wide. Okay, so you're going to want to start up this start Bungie from BungeeCord, and it's gonna look just like this. It's going to look a lot different than your Spigot servers, but that is fine. This is how it's supposed to look. And when you want to end the server, you /stop. That's not going to work. That's not going to do anything. You're going to want to type /end, and that will stop your BungeeCord server. And there we go. So we're going to want to go into the config, and this is where everything happens. Alright, so let's start up top. Groups. Alright, well, I'm going to add my name to this, and I'm in a group admin, and the groups are down here. There's default and admin, and I'll get into that in a second. You can pretty much skip all this stuff. Skip all that. Okay, so permissions. Default is what a player who just joined your server, this is going to be their group that they're going to be in. So they have the command /server and /list. It's actually /glist, which gives you a list of all the players like across every server. But say you don't want them to have that, you can just remove that, and I would recommend adding it to the admin list. You can also add more than one. You can have more than 2 groups. You can have as many as you want. So let's just call this mod, and let's see, you can make it so they have the alert command, and that's how that works. Alright, so down to like listeners. Oh, and by the way, if you have one, you have to add everyone to a group that is mod, admin, anything. You don't have to add people to the group if they're on default, just all like the other ones. Okay, so listeners, for a port. Let's keep that at 25565. The message of the day, you can change this to anything you want when you start up your server. This is going to be the message of the day on the multiplayer screen. So right now, I believe this is blue, and it says another BungeeCord server. Tab list. You can just leave this alone, but you can make it either global ping or just global. I would recommend leaving it as global ping. This is just when you hold tab, it'll show all the players on that specific server that you're on. Okay, forced host. This is if you connect to a specific IP when you are on Minecraft and you type this in and you connect to that server, it will connect to the PvP server. Alright, so we're going to keep that, but we're going to change this. Let's change it to hub. And let's see. Ping pass-through, you can leave that as false. The default server, this is going to be the default server that you're going to connect to when you first join the server. Bind local address, keep that as true. Fallback server, this is if your default server is currently offline, then it won't just boot you off the server. This will, if you have a secondary server, it will connect you to that. If you don't have one, you can just put it as the default server, but say I have a hub 2. Host, if you have a hosted company IP, you would put your IP for your BungeeCord server right here. If you are on a local host, you can just put 0.0.0.0:25565. The max players, this is how many players is going to be shown on your screen on the multiplayer server. So I'm going to add this, say, to 1,000. This doesn't affect the max player count at all. This is just what it shows you. The player limit up here is actually the cap for the server. So say it says 1,000 on the menu, but say you only want 900 people to join, and if there are 900 people on the server, the 901 person won't be able to join the server. But if you want just like unlimited slots, you can put it as -1. Tab size, I would leave this as 60, but you can change this to anything you want. I would recommend doing it by 20s. Just 60 is a good size. It's just 3 rows together, down 20. It just looks a lot better when it stays as 60. Force default server, let's put this as true. What this is when you join a server, say you join a hub server, but then you go to a faction server. But you have to go to bed, so then you come on the next morning and you log on again. If this is false, you will log on to the faction server. If this is set to true, it will automatically connect you to your default server. So if you want them to connect to your hub every single time that they rejoin, put this as true. The timeout time, if they cannot connect to the server, I believe this is 30 seconds. Then it will show you have timed out on your server. Like on this server, please try and reconnect. Connection throttle. This is 4 seconds. If you try and connect to the server and log off really fast and try and log back in really fast, it won't let you. It'll connection throttle you. This is just for players who have multiple accounts who are trying to bot spam your server. This is what it is. You can only connect one player per 4 seconds. The servers, we're going to put this to hub. This is going to be our initial server, our hub right here, and yeah, your default server has to match up with whatever server you want them to connect to down here. The message of the day, For them, you can put just another BungeeCord enforced host. As far as I can tell, this doesn't really matter too much. So yeah, the address, if you have a hosted company, this is where you're going to put the IP for that server, that hub server in my case. But if you're on localhost, you're just going to keep it as localhost 255.6, but you can't make it 6.5 or else the server won't work. So I'm going to put it as 6.6. Remember this, as on your server you're going to be changing the port to 255.66. That will be later on in this video. Restricted false. If this is set to true, then only players with a permission of BungeeCord.server.that server name are only allowed on that server. IP forward, we're going to set this to true, because if your server runs off on any ban management plugin, if this is set to true, it'll ban the IP of that player. If this is set to false and you ban a player, it will read it as every single player, because there's only one IP for BungeeCord, so it will ban everyone. So you're going to want to set that to true. Online mode set to true. If you want offline cracked players, stolen accounts, stuff like that, you're going to set this to false. And yeah, that is BungeeCord. So we're just going to start this back up now that we changed some settings. It'll just take a quick sec to launch up. Could be a little bit slow because I'm just starting everything back up. I changed a lot in the config, but eventually it will start up. Alright, and there we go. You can see info, and it says severe here. It says fallback server is not defined. That is because obviously I didn't add a hub 2 thing to down here, but if I added a hub 2, that would go away. So everything is fine. It's all working well. So we can just type /end. Alright, and that'll do. Okay, so now is the really important part to any server that you're going to be connecting to here. So let's go into server properties, and this is very important. This is the hub server. As you remember, the server port, we're going to change it to 255.66, and you also need to change this online mode to false. Now it won't let people with cracked accounts on because they need to first connect to the BungeeCord, which is online mode set to true. The next thing you need to change in any server is, let's go into the spigot.yml, and you're going to need to find where it says BungeeCord. BungeeCord will only work with Spigot for this one reason. It won't work with Bucket. We're going to put this to true, so that way IPs will all be different, and it will define them differently. And the last step you want to do is your bucket.yml. You're going to want to change the connection throttle to -1. This is because we're changing it to -1, so there is no connection throttle to this server. But remember, they need to connect to the BungeeCord server, which already has a connection throttle. So double connection throttle, it would pretty much fight back against each other, and a player could only connect once every 4 seconds, and then another player could only connect once every 4 seconds. So we don't want that. So yeah, that's all you have to do to set up BungeeCord. If you have any questions, make sure to leave it in the comments. If I didn't explain myself clearly, please ask me down there. And yeah, guys, that's about it for this video. I hope you all enjoyed. Leave a like for more, subscribe for more of these kinds of videos, and until next time, guys, my name is AJ for 4FB. Peace out.